All right, so everything's all nice and squeezed together. I'm not really worried about, well, maybe I am. We'll see how we can kind of push that. Nah, I'm not really worried about it. Just squeeze these tabs down really good. What we can do also is rotate, see if things are lined up, if it actually lines up. You know, I don't know how, you know, if you could just put the hands on and it's like lined up or whatever. Okay. So I guess I'd recommend putting them in the upright position. You know, start, say, 12 o'clock, right? So if you just put the hands on wherever, it may not line up properly. And you can kind of see like the hour. Maybe you can't. The hour is off just a little bit. All right, that's where it would be if it was at, you know, the 12 o'clock or the up. Well, it would be 12 o'clock position, right? So let's try that. All right, I'm getting ridiculous now. That's good enough, right? I can say, okay, that's 4 o'clock, even though it's off a little bit, right? Maybe. I don't know. I'm happy with that. All right, let's move our attention on to the battery, the ammeter. We can put this stuff back on to, all right, we want to put the tab on. We don't want to put it down like that, because then you have the potential to short it out. All right, we're going to clean this contact up, be right back, and we'll install it. We got the tab on loosely. What we're going to have to do is tighten it up in the position where the wire is going to go. So if the wire is coming in on this side, we got to move the tab around. You know, so once we get there, we'll know which direction the tab's supposed to go. This is going to have to come off in order for us to put it back inside the housing. Take that, put that off to the side. Originally, the clock was dirty. So all I had to do was, you know, lube it up and get the movement down. And it worked for several months. And then I started losing time. You know, I'd go to the car, within a couple of hours, it would be off by a couple minutes. And then eventually it just stopped altogether. So I guess when it stopped altogether, with the contacts touching, it probably overheated the solenoid and did some damage. But it definitely cracked this housing that it's mounted to. But the movement works fine, so yeah, I'll get a hold of Obsession Restoration. She was saying, hey, send me your stuff. She can have a free gift. And she'll be able to fix that. Maybe not now. All right, let's move our attention to the ammeter and see why it's not working. If it's the wiring or if it's the actual gauge itself. So what we'll do, the easy way to do that, get your digital multimeter if you got one. And we'll do a simple ohms test or a continuity test. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, so we'll put it on the alarm. Okay. So we just touch one post and the other. And nothing. We got our new gauge. And we got something. Right, we have nothing, and I'm touching. So what we need to do is take these connectors off. They do go on a certain way. So I guess for me, where this flat edge is, we're going away from that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's a light bulb that goes in on this side. And if you have these tabs facing the other way, if you have the tabs facing the other way, it'll block where the light bulb goes. It's not going to affect the function of the gauge. It's just that you're not going to be able to put the light bulb in. And we'll show you that later once we get to the center console. I'm going to take these off, clean them up on the wire wheel, and then we'll get everything assembled into the center console and see if our wiring is good in the vehicle. Well, this stuff you got to save from the old gauge. All right, I didn't show that part, but this is all it is. These little stamped nuts. These tabs, and this plastic insulator, which goes on a specific way also. We got to take this off anyway to put it inside of the center console. For the clock, it's not necessary to take the housing off of the center console, but for all the other gauges it is required. So take our ammeter. See, it's like the odd kid out now. He's all nice, bright and shiny, and what can you do? You guys seeing that? Let's get you in there. Man. All right, we're up here. We put our plastic insulator on. Our tabs. Right here's the light bulb I was telling you about. So if we assembled it that way, it would block the light bulb, right? And this dimple was on the bottom one. You know, I was always told, don't show what you're not to do, right? Don't show how you're not supposed to do something. Only show the correct way. So, there you have it. You can kind of get them snugged up a little bit. Where did I? There it is. These little plastic insulators have to go up through the hole. Really, the only way you can kind of do that is by pushing up on the gauge. While you tighten down the nuts. All right, we got to go back over. With the socket. Since these are stamped, you don't have to send them home. Go around all the other ones and give them a nice little snug. We can do our continuity check. put it on alert so you can hear it. That way I don't have to show you, unless you really want to see it. Yeah, you guys probably want to see it. We've come this far. All right, that's much better. So we knocked the dirt off of the contacts. I can put our housing back on. Got to be careful with our fasten seatbelt area. Make sure that's lined up. There we go. Throw that across the garage. All right, time for our clock. As you can see, we got to line up the adjustment rod through the hole. Then everything else will line up. That's not it. All right, I'm hiding hardware on myself. And then throwing stuff across the garage. Okay. I forgot that I put them somewhere else. I was trying to use the hardware off of the driver's side dash. but I don't remember a ground strap being used. All right, that's all my nerves. There's dirt on the inside, so I'm going to wipe that out, and then we'll go car side to test the wiring harness. All right, so according to the wiring diagram, and I don't want to take away from their revenue, but the volt, it's not a voltmeter, it's not measuring voltage, it's measuring amperage. Is the battery being charged? So from, and they have it listed as a voltmeter, there's a black and a black and white wire. Black and white wire turns into an orange wire that goes to courtesy light, clock power, and also comes back to a main connection that branches off to the left-hand courtesy lamp, right-hand courtesy lamp, a light switch, no, I almost said light switch connector, that's false. Cigarette lighter, and the clock power. That's for the black and white. So what we don't want to have is we don't want to have a short to ground. So if I touch the white and black wire and find chassis ground, there should be no continuity. Same with the black wire on the top side of the voltmeter. Let's look in the car. Well, let's see where this is going. So the solid black wire I don't even know where that's going. That's weird. You got it going right here. All right. Let's get you out of the reflection. We got screen reflection. Right here, but it's not really showing a connector. All right, if we go on the back side here, because the way they have this thing set up, they have it flip-flopped. All right, so up here, you guys looking, up here is over here, and this is the black and white wire coming off of the ammeter, going over here to the orange. So it would be under this brown wire on this side for the solid black, but there's nothing there. Very confusing. Right, voltmeter coming down, going across, coming into this connector here. Where are you guys looking? And then from here, it would be right next to this white, black and white wire, which is a different one. That is this green, and then there's nothing in there. And then that green wire, I don't know if they got that mislabeled or what. It says a horn relay. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess really what we got to do is test the black and white wire off of the cigarette lighter and clock power. So let's see what happens. Let's get our voltmeter. Let's get you inside the vehicle. There we go. All right. We're looking for black and white. I think I see it right over here. Black and white. Where do I even have you guys? All right, so we got black and white right here. So that should be the same as cigarette power. Cigarette lighter. So I should have continuity from black and white to cigarette lighter. And clock power. Orange. All right, or we can check right courtesy or left courtesy since we're here also. Right? But what we don't want to get is a short to ground. So is that what caused the ammeter to be to not work anymore? Who knows? All right, let's get set up with the voltmeter, but we're measuring continuity. We'll put it on alert. Try to get you set up. Technical difficulties. All right, we got one wire. I hate working with one hand. All right, let's get set up on a tripod. All right. We got kind of everything in frame. So we got cigarette lighter, almost. There's that. Okay. There's a that's clock. You know what? We would have to disconnect our lights because we're being grounded by fuse and we're being grounded by light bulbs. So that's what's happening. All right, let me disconnect courtesy lamps and maybe a fuse and see what's up. So we'll be right back. So everything has a ground somewhere. I disconnected the clock and whatever else it was going to, and I can touch all the orange to a ground and it's showing continuity. But the fuse isn't blown. The clock worked. Cigarette lighter worked. None of the fuses are blown, so there's got to be a connector somewhere, maybe through a buzzer or a relay, but a relay wouldn't. Anyway, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to hook everything up and see what happens. But I tested black and white to clock power and cigarette lighter, and we got continuity there, which shows that the wiring harness is true. It's just like, where does this black wire go? And why would they have a black wire going to a power source, right? You would think that it would show ground. You know, in US vehicles, typically black means ground, and your power wire would be other than black. So I'm going to put it together and see what we got. And the reason why I thought something was going on with the battery gauge is when I turned the ignition on, I didn't get a needle flutter. So, right. We're just going to go with it, I guess. Put it all back, at least get the center console back together. Wait for the printed circuit board to show up for the tachometer and get that installed. But that won't keep us from installing the center console and testing the clock and the battery gauge. I'm going to get the battery hooked up, and we'll see if, you know, we got any electrical fires or whatever. Actually, you know what? I got to hook up the fuse for the battery, or for the clock, and whatever else, courtesy lamp and battery, or yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Clock, lighter, and courtesy lamp. All right, we got the fuse plugged in for that. Almost. Got to get it tightened up. Okay. We got courtesy lamp, almost. Over on this side, I gotta, but we got clock. It looked like we had some, yeah, we got some amperage movement. Let's see if it'll start up. Nope. Why? Is it something in our... Yeah, that's right. That somehow. All right, so there you go. The battery's been disconnected for a little while. We got some gauge working. The clock is moving along. So that was a success. Now all we got to do is go through the driver's side dash and hook up the wiring, get the printed circuit board for the tachometer installed, and see how that goes. We have wipers. Yep, if you didn't see that, make sure all of our wiring is hooked up. All right. Let's see if our fan works. Oh, I'd see. I always do that. I flip the switch, but I don't turn it on. So as soon as I have it in the off position, and when I flip the switch, it's like, man, it's not working. But we got some needle movement on our amp gauge. All right, what else? What else? Oh, a cigarette lighter. Yep, cigarette lighter's working. It turned red if you didn't see it. What about a radio? All right, that's enough. We don't need copyright infringements. It's not like I'm making money off of these videos anyway. I don't do it for the money. I do it for you. All right, what else? I guess we could hook our headlight switch up, but we won't have any of our grounding straps hooked up for the dash lights, but we'll have them hooked up for our gauge lights and down here. So let's see if we can get some of that action going. There is our headlight switch right here. Let's turn it off. Okay. There we go.